spells, traps, monsters. This thing is unaffected by everything. We drew 4 cards. Say hello to the new best deck in Master Duel, and that is Pearly. If you still need a beautiful playmat, you can go to zerodamagegaming.com and use the code Solemn for a discount. There's actually this, a very cute one if you're interested in that. So right here we have the deck. Pearly is absolutely insane, and so I think this is about the type of list you want to be starting with. Now, if the format develops, your choice of hand traps will too, but for now, let's go with this. At the end of the video, I'll also show you the combo. So we start off with Effect Failure. Now, Effect Failure is not the most popular hand trap, but it is very important to know that depending on which combo you do with Pearly, you can actually draw up to 6 cards in one turn. However, usually it's going to be more like 4, and in certain hands it'll only be 2, and so forth. But so if you're drawing that many cards in your opponent's turn, whatever you draw has to be useful to stop them from playing the game. And so you want to have hand traps you can draw, meaning not impermanence, because you'll already have a field. So when you think of hand traps like that and you want them to be generic, Effect Failure is one of the first ones to consider. Another thing is that if you're going to be drawing 4 or 6 cards, if you have too many duplicates of hand traps, there's actually a higher chance that you'll have cards that are hard once per turns that you then can't use. So for example, if you run like 3 Ghost Mourner, there's a higher chance that you're going to have conflicts there if you drew 6. So that's why I really like to Effect Failure. Then we have Triple Droll. Now this kind of goes against what I just said. You could argue for only 2 Droll, but I actually think Droll is very, very powerful right now in Master Duel, and there's basically 2 decks that make it so. The first one, of course, is Dragon Link. Ever since the harsh hits on Tearlaments, I feel like Dragon Link is actually the best deck, and so Droll is really powerful into that deck. Beyond that, sometimes Droll is really powerful into Pearly as well. Now that's my main gripe with Droll, that sometimes Pearly can actually play around Droll depending on their hand. So it's gonna be like, I draw this, oh, they broke through it, Droll sucks. Oh, they didn't break through it, Droll is awesome. So depending on how everything shapes up, there is an argument for replacing Droll with DD Crow or playing some kind of combination, but for now, I'm too afraid of Dragon Link, so triple Droll. Then we have 3 Pearly and 3 Pearlily. Those are the only Pearly monsters. Let's go over that real quick in depth. Pearly, if this card is normal or special summoned, you can excavate the top 3 cards of your deck, and if you do, you can add 1 Pearly spell or trap to your hand. Also place the rest on the bottom of your deck. So Pearly gets placed, you check top 3, add 1 of the spells or traps, and then the rest to the bottom. Now, this is not once per turn, so you can actually summon as many Pearlies as you want with a variety of spells, and this will just keep on checking top, checking top, checking top. Now, whenever you miss, you're gonna feel sad, but whenever you don't miss, you're gonna feel like the biggest hero ever. Its other effect is once per turn. During your main phase, you can reveal 1 Pearly quick play spell in your hand, special summon an Xyz monster from your extra deck that mentions that card by using this card you control as material, and attach the revealed card to the summoned monster. I know that's a lot of words, so you'll see in the combo how that actually works, but basically this Pearly will combine with 1 of these memory cards and then create the corresponding Xyz. So Happy Memory will create happiness, Pretty Memory will create beauty, and Delicious Memory will create plump. And so depending on which one you have in your hand, you're gonna have different access to different plays. Now Pearlily, the more powerful of the 2 according to some, has similar effects, but they're still different. So this card says if this card is normal or special summoned, you can add 1 Pearly card from your deck to your hand, except a quick play spell. So this can search anything but the quick plays, including, and this is something not many people know, Pearly itself. So you can actually special summon this out with 1 of your spells and then search for the Pearly monster and so forth, depending on your hand. So it has the search effect like Pearly, but a bit different. It also has the summon effect like Pearly, but a bit different. Because this one says you can target 1 Pearly quick play spell in your graveyard, special summon an Xyz monster from your extra deck, and la-di-la-di-la-da. Same thing. So while Pearly uses spells from your hand to summon, Pearlily uses spells from your grave to summon. That is the big difference between the 2. However, Pearlily is different from Pearly in that this is a hard once per turn. So Pearlily, both just harsh once per turns. You get impermed on this card, you feel super sad. Whereas imperm on Pearly doesn't always matter because you can just summon more Pearlies. Next, we have triple Maxi, of course, because Maxi is broken. We have triple Ash to stop Maxi because Maxi is broken. And also, once again, it's a hand trap we can draw into. I actually think Pearly is going to be stronger in this game than in other games because you know how it's insane whenever you have to break an opponent's board while they have Maxi. Now, imagine that rather than drawing 5 cards, they can draw 11. 7. What are the odds of them having Max C now, huh? I'll tell you, the odds are very fucking high. So for that reason, I actually think Pearly is going to be even more insane here. We're going to be drawing into Ash. We're going to be drawing into Droll. We're going to be drawing into Effect Failure. We're going to be drawing into Max C. It's ridiculous. And we have 2 triple tactics talents. Basically, if we get hand trapped, this deck can feel kind of iffy because you're actually discarding for all of your summons. You'll see that in the combo video. And so if you then get interrupted, you feel kind of bad. TTT then drawing 2 can sometimes just get you out of that problem. But if you are already fine enough and maybe you can already combo through it, then you can just look at their hand and take away whatever is next. And there's actually very specific outs to Pearly Noir in the game. And so if you can look at their hand and just take that away, you automatically win the game. Then we have 2 Stray Pearly Street. This is a very underrated card. And when I first started playing Pearly, I actually hated this. I was like, this is just a brick. It doesn't do anything on its own. I hate it. But once you start playing with this card, you start respecting it. It has a bunch of effects. Your opponent cannot target Pearly monsters you control with card effects the turn they are special summoned. So if you are playing into a existing board and you activate a Stray Pearly Street, now their imperms are gone. Their Book of Moons are gone. Their effect failures are gone. Their Kashtira Fenrirs are gone. Any targeting. Sulik? Ha! Nice Sulik, Tearlaments, idiot. Perlerino? Ha! Cute. Kaleido Heart? Fuck off. All of those cards target. Stapelia, same shit. Everything targets in the game almost. And this just says no more targeting for you. That's absolutely crazy. Then once per turn, if a face-up Pearly Xyz monster you control leaves the field because of an opponent's card, special summon 1 level 1 Pearly monster from your deck or graveyard. So once your opponent magically got rid of your board, you just get a new one. You know, fuck it. And then of course, don't forget that that special summoned Pearly monster then also gets a search on summon. And then once per turn during the end phase, you can target 1 Pearly Xyz monster on the field, attach 1 Pearly Quick Play spell from your deck or graveyard to that monster as material. Now remember that all of these Pearly Quick Play spells also give effects to the Xyz monster they're under. So you can start just stacking crazy effects and just create this one crazy Pearly monster that then has a billion effects. Then we have My Friend Pearly, the heart and soul of the deck. You can pay 500 life points and then reveal 3 Pearly cards from your deck except My Friend, and then your opponent randomly picks 1. However, nothing is limited or semi-limited in this deck just yet. This means you can just choose 3 of the same and your opponent will automatically always give you exactly what you want. This card is absolutely crazy. And then it also says if a face-up Pearly Xyz monster you control leaves the field because of an opponent's card, even during the damage step, you can add up to 3 Pearly Quick Play spells with different names from your graveyard to your hand. This means that if you have this on your board and you have Stray Pearly Street on your board, whenever your opponent gets rid of one of your Pearly thingies, you get 3 spells to your hand. 1 Pearly monster onto your board, and that Pearly monster onto your board then adds something to your hand. So you have 5 cards for free, just out of thin air, added to your side of the field whenever they try to do anything to your board. This is why it's so annoying to play against Pearly, because they'll put up this insane tower, this thing that no one can properly out without kaijus and kurikara and stuff like that. And then once you finally out it, which is hard because they already drew a billion hand traps, now they also get everything back. Yeah, good luck. You basically need to out a Noir, instantly OTK, and if you don't, you auto lose. That's how you play against Pearly. Then we have 2 Called by the Grave because Max C is broken. And then we have the memories. So we have 3 of the happy memory. Basically every single Pearly quick play spell has 3 effects. First, it has the weaker effect. Just something that's like a little more niche, but it comes up. Good Pearly players properly use all 3 effects to their advantage whenever needed. Throwing it out there, the first effect is usually the niche weaker one. Then the second effect, which is a special summon of a Pearly monster. So that's the one right here. You discard a card, and if you do, special summon 1 Pearly monster from your deck. And the third one is the effect they give to the Pearly monster on top of it, right? So you have the Pearly memory, a Pearly monster, and an Xyz on top. The Xyz on top gains the effect of the memory underneath. And so in this case with Happy, it can attack monsters multiple times. Then we have the Pretty memory. The first effect, gain life points. Second effect, the same summon. And third effect, giving it to the Xyz, is that you can actually suck up your opponent's cards into your Xyz, which is crazy. You can make bigger Zeuses, you can out stuff that's hard to out, and so forth. Then we have the third one, Delicious memory right here. So the first effect, again the weaker one, is the monster cannot be destroyed by battle. The second effect is special summon a Pearly monster from deck. And the third effect is that the Xyz on top gains a bunch of attack and defense. And then the final Sleepy memory, the first battle or effect damage you take is 0. Again, kind of whatever. The second effect is discard a card, and if you do special summon. And the third one is once per turn during your opponent's standby phase, draw 1 card. However, this is once per turn per memory. So if you have 3 Sleepy Memory attached to 1 Xyz, you will draw 3 cards in your opponent's turn. That's how this deck draws 4 to 6 cards. 6, you ask? There's only 3 memory. More on that later. Later being now. We have Pearl Leap. This card allows you to place a big Pearly monster onto a small one. So if you have a small Xyz, so a rank 2, you can activate Leap, target that rank 2, and then place the rank 7 on top of that. So that means you can have Plump right here. You can have this little cutie, target it with Leap, and then place a Noir on top of that. Now you can do this in the standby phase. So if you have a Plump and it has 3 of the memory underneath, you can go standby phase, draw, 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 activate Leap, targeting your Plump, turning into Noir, then still in the standby phase, draw, draw, draw. You just drew 6 cards. GG, get fucked, go next. Now, for the extra deck. Notice that I didn't craft the Anima yet because I just don't have CPUR. It comes up sometimes, but you can replace it with whatever you want if you don't have the crafting material. So we have a Slacker Magician. This is basically one of 2 cards that helps you make Zeus. Then we have Princess Sprite. Basically, you will notice that whenever you play Pearly, you tend to have a lot of Pearly monsters that then make nothing. So for that reason, we have this card. This will basically check the top, and if it's a spell or trap, you can add it to your hand. It's just a free plus sometimes. Then we have Fuecoco, the other monster with which we make Zeus. We have 2 E-Pearly Happiness. This is an OTK machine. Basically a happy with access to a delicious is gonna be OTK, assuming your opponent has a monster with like, what was it, 2,200 attack or something like that. I don't remember the exact math, but basically this thing will attack, it will search a new memory, it will attack, it will search a new memory, and the Delicious, remember how this Delicious said, choose a monster on the field and it cannot be destroyed by battle? You will use that on your opponent's monster. So your opponent's monster will not die, and then your Happiness will just attack into it, attack into it, attack into it, attack into it. And that way they will die, because Delicious will make it bigger, Happy Memory will allow you to attack as many times as you want, basically, and that's an OTK. Then we have 2 E-Pearly Beauty. This is basically an infinite impermanence on legs, but you can also change the battle position of an opponent's monster. So once again, this is going to allow you to OTK, because you can put whatever monster they have into attack, and then Happy will allow you to just attack it a billion times and it dies. Then we have Plump. This is going to be the main way we can easily make Noir. This can attach 2 spells or traps in the graveyard to itself. So you will have the Plump, you will have the Pearly, you will have the original memory, and then 2 more, so that's 5. So then you can leap onto it, and then you have a Noir with 5 material. Then we have Downward Magician. This is just to make your Zeus even bigger. Yes, this deck can absolutely turbo out Zeuses with like many wipes, so your opponent can never win the game. But then we have Noir. This is our boss monster. You can also Xyz summon this card by using a rank 2 monster you control with 5 or more materials. So again, Happiness will have a bunch of materials on it if you want. Plump can have a bunch of materials onto it if you want, and Beauty, rarely. It's usually going to be Happiness or Plump. And then this card is unaffected by your opponent's activated effects while it has 5 or more materials. So your opponent cannot do anything to this. You could literally just sit on your ass while your opponent draws 40 cards out of their deck. They cannot out this if their deck doesn't have like a Kaiju or a Kurikara or a monster that's bigger. But there will not be a monster that's bigger because the Delicious Memories actually make this thing bigger. Then you can detach 2 materials from this card, target 1 card your opponent controls or in their graveyard, place it on the bottom of their deck. So the more material there is under Noir, the more easily you can just start spinning stuff away and your opponent basically auto loses. But do note that as the material goes down, you might lose your Noir being unaffected. Then we have Zeus. Again, this deck is Zeus Turbo, absolutely crazy. Then we have Anima, because all of our Pearlies are level 1. And then we have Azalea, which just randomly pop stuff, can sometimes be useful. Anima plus Azalea also lets us out certain floodgates. So this is the deck. Again, depending on how the meta shapes up, you can change your hand traps. There's also some ways you can play discard engines, because all of these spells discard. If you're newer to the deck, you will actually sometimes just lose because you didn't properly sequence how you would plus or not plus, and you will just run out of discard material. So that's why people at first played cards like Dangers, played cards like Dark Worlds, because they kind of like stop you from losing your discards. However, in an ideal world, you of course want to play hand traps because you'll draw into them with your Sleepy Memory. However, with all that being said, I know it's a very complex deck. Let's get into a combo. Alrighty, so we have a hand. There's a bunch of ways to go about this. We already went to main phase, and that's actually wrong. You want to always, by the way, toggle on so that you can start playing in draw phase, because this way you can play around Droll. Now, of course, we're just in solo mode to show you the combo, so it doesn't really matter right now, but that's something to keep in mind. You really want to be able to play in draw phase to play around Droll. So we will activate a sleepy memory. Let's pretend it's draw phase, and we will use the special summon. So we will discard, in this case, just a Purrely, just a Call by the Grave because they don't have hand traps, and we will special summon out a Purrely. Alrighty, so then we will activate the Purrely's effect, and we will go ahead and grab a Purrely. Now, again, sometimes it's better to go Purrely here to just find extra spells, but we don't really care now because we already opened basically everything, and we don't have hand traps to play against. So we're going to activate a My Friend Purrely, and it is going to search Triple Delicious for us. So we're really looking for Triple Delicious because Plump is what you make with Delicious. So we choose 3, and of course we're always getting the Delicious. And now we're activating the Delicious. Sure, Purrely will not die, and we will also special summon. So we will get rid of the Purrely from our hand. We will special summon a Purrely, and then Purrely's effect will activate. We'll check top 3 for maybe a spell. Maybe it's another field. Oh, we have a Delicious memory. Okay, that's fine too. And we have a Leap. We already have Leap, so we're now gonna add another memory to our hand. And then, you know, whatever order doesn't really matter. Now, if you want to play around DD Crow, you start with Purrely here, but fuck it. I actually really want to just show you the most easy combo possible. So this Purrely, and it's going to show Delicious memory. So we're now going to special summon out a Plump in defense position right here. And this Plump is now going to use its effect to attach 2 more spells from the grave. So in this case, we have a Sleepy Memory and a Call by the Grave. Remember, this Sleepy Memory being under Plump will allow us to already draw 1 card in our opponent's turn. So we're going to activate Plump, and we're going to attach these 2 cards to it. Alrighty. So that is now attached. So now we have the Plump, and it has 4 materials under it already, meaning if we leap the Big Noir on top of this, it will have 5 materials. However, what we can also do is normal summon Purrely here, activate its effect. We're gonna try and check that top 3. Oh, we have a Happy Memory, a Nothing, and a Nothing. So we're going to add the Happy Memory to our hand, put the rest on the bottom of the deck, sure. And now we can make a Princess Sprite out of these 2, and sometimes it'll miss, but sometimes it will not. So let's try this out right here. We get ourselves a Princess Sprite, and we'll use the Princess Sprite's effect. Maybe we'd hit another spell. So we'll detach Purrely. Let's see if we get lucky. And it's a spell. Okay, so we got a free card out of that, just like that. Because technically these dead Purrelys, they do nothing, you know? So making this Sprite doesn't cost us anything. Now, since we already have My Friend, I really want to make this Plump even bigger. And ideally, I want to find another Sleepy, because if we can attach more Sleepies, then that means we will be able to draw more cards. So this Happy Memory here is basically, after activation, going to be chained on by Plump, and then Plump will attach it to it as well. Alrighty, so it's attached, and then we don't banish any cards. That's Plump's extra effect. And now we choose the My Friend, and the My Friend cannot be destroyed by their lightning storms or anything like that. Now we will discard a card and special summon another Purrely out. We already have a My Friend. I'm being very greedy here, by the way, because I'm like, I just want to show you the most impressive combo possible. So now we'll activate the Purrely. We will check top 3. Another Sleepy. This is perfect. And a Street. Wow. Okay. Add a designated card to your hand. Yes, but I'm not even... I mean, I'll take the Street right here because it will actually also add a Sleepy Memory to our Plump. All right, so we will activate the Street. Okay, and then we won't use the Delicious Memory anymore. It's not really necessary. So we will set 1. So now if we go to the end phase, our Street will activate and it will attach a Sleepy Memory to our Plump. Okay, so we're going to choose a Sleepy Memory, attach it to the Plump. The Plump now gets even bigger. We don't want to activate the Delicious Memory. It's fine. So then it becomes our opponent's turn. Your opponent drew a card. We don't activate anything. Nope. We now go to Standby phase. Now, Standby phase is where we activate the Sleepy Memory and we'll draw a card. Next, we'll activate a second Sleepy Memory and we'll draw a card. Now we'll activate Leap, targeting our Plump, and we will put the Noir on top. So the Purrely Noir is being put on top of the Plump right now. And so, since we're still in the standby phase, we will now be able to activate those 2 Sleepy Memories from under the Noir again. Again, boom, just like that. So notice how we just drew 4 cards in our opponent's turn. They cannot actually do anything about this Noir. They need to have exactly a Kaiju or a Kurikara or a Herald of the Abyss, but almost no one's playing that. I mean, they will. They will start playing it because Purrely is going to be the very best deck in Magic. Master Duel. But so basically right now they can't do anything. This card is unaffected by your opponent's activated effects. Anything. Spells, traps, monsters. This thing is unaffected by everything. We drew 4 cards. They cannot target special summoned Pearly monsters. And if they somehow got rid of Noir, our Street will special summon out one of our Pearly monsters, which will add a card to our hand. And my friend will add 3 of those quick play spells back to our hand. So we have 5 cards right now, but if they somehow got rid of our Noir, we will have 9 cards in our hand. Yeah. So if they then don't OTK us, and remember, these cards we drew, they could have been hand traps. In this case, it's Maxi. Good fucking luck. I'll draw into even more hand traps. But if these are hand traps, they're never OTKing through that. And then we just win. We auto won. It doesn't matter what anyone does. This deck, without any restrictions, is the best deck in Master Duel. It is so insane. I will only play this now. And you will too. Hope you found this interesting. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you still need a beautiful playmat, go to zerodamagegaming.com and use code Solemn for a discount. I will see you soon. Ciao.